What's up, and welcome to your weekly episode of Watch, Chat, Play. My name is Devon.
And I'm Cameron.
And thank you for joining us. Today we're talking about pretty much Pokemon GO, or maybe Brokemon GO, or not okay GO. Pokemon Stop, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we're talking about. So thank you for joining us. Alright, so first we want to start by saying thank you to all the people that were part of our roundtable session last week.
There's a lot of people.
There were a lot of people. One of the things we talked about, like as far as scale, we didn't really know how it was going to work. Mm-hmm. A lot of people there, a lot of people kind of talking at the same time, so it made it a little bit difficult to kind of engage and listen. So it was our first one, so you try it, see what works, and then kind of make your adjustments. So.
Great idea.
Bad execution, yeah. So for the next one, because we're going to do another one, we'll have less people. We most likely won't have a game in the background because that was kind of distracting to be trying to play a game and then doing something else on top of it. So I thought it would be more engaging just for the people to be doing something, but it just ended up being more of a pain in the balls than anything else. So glad that we did it, glad that we tried it, and we learned what we're going to do next time, but never know until you try.
Exactly.
Okay, so on to pressing matters. Pokemon GO was announced 2 years ago?
September 2 years ago, I believe, yeah.
And I got really excited about it because I use an app called geocaching, which I've done with my wife and daughter for a long time. It was one of the things that like Danny and I did for fun, like all over the place. Because have you ever done geocaching?
I have not.
Okay.
I used to play Ingress, which I'm assuming is probably similar to that, but
sort of. So with what geocaching is, it's a game that's based off of like geo coordinates, like locational coordinates. So people all over the world, really, like legit all over the world, will go in, as small as like a bullet casing, as big as like a suitcase. They will hide these items literally all over the world, underwater, on top of mountains. They bury it. They'd hide it in trees, like places that you never like think to look. And they would hide, sometimes a little like piece of paper that you can, just write your name on, and it has like a little geolocation. So you sync up your GPS, and then you find the location using the app, and then you just kind of walk through wherever, trying to like. It'll get you within like 5 feet, I think, 5 or 10 feet.
That's awesome.
And then you have to kind of find the rest of it. It's awesome. It's one of my favorite things to do during the spring, during the summer. I've done it during the winter. So when they announced Pokemon Go, I thought this was going to be kind of like a new spin on it.
Yeah.
So, but thus far, much like our roundtable, good concept, bad execution.
Yes.
So the same company,
Niantic. Yep.
They made Ingress, which I only know about because of Pokemon Go and then I did research. But you have actually used Ingress.
Yeah, I think it was my first, maybe not my first Android phone. I was at work just playing around. It was automatically installed on it. I think it was a Droid X2 maybe. But I'm like, what is this? And I saw it use GPS, so I kind of set everything up. And I started walking around outside of the hospital trying to find these nodes where you just stand at the nodes and capture it for your team.
So is it like a time thing? Like you walk up and then you have to stand there?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So then what was like the user interface with like the people? Like was it multiplayer? Was it a single player?
There was two different factions. So your factions are fighting over these nodes.
So the Bloods and the Crips.
Yeah, kinda, yeah. I don't remember the colors now. Maybe red and green.
Okay. But
yeah, you just go capture these nodes, you collect items. I think there was microtransactions, if I remember. I mean, it's been a little while since I played it, but.
So did it perform well? Did it not last that long?
It did not last very long at all.
Because as I read about it several months back when I knew I was going to cover this for Analog Addiction, I remember seeing that there was like maybe one or two like really big groups, but that was it. Like it was located to like somewhere in California, which is San Francisco is like kind of a hub for everything.
Yep.
And then somewhere else, I think like abroad, like in a different country, there was like a small little pocket of players.
I didn't know any of my friends that were playing, honestly.
Right.
I mean, there's some people who dabbled with it, but I think I played it the longest, which I played for maybe a week and a half of every night, going in and just making sure, our faction had these nodes. I think it's still live. I wouldn't assume they'd take it down.
It's still up. I looked. It is.
So, I mean, it worked a lot better than this did with the location-based stuff.
Yeah, because that's the thing. So, enter Pokemon Go. So, Ingress teamed up with the Pokemon Company. So, one big enough application software developer to where, that's a really hard thing to do. To take Google Maps and then layer an entire interface on top of it if you've never done anything with like software coding, like I helped, or I didn't help, I developed that app, the Crisis app.
Yeah.
Absolute pain in the balls to do anything with like software and coding, and then to figure out how to implement your own software on top of something else like Google Maps. I can't imagine how hard that is. Like, I can't even really consider like how many hours and trials and errors and stuff like that. So so saying all that, like, I totally get that it was hard. But you have the name brand of Pokemon. You have all the capital that I'm sure that they had available to build this hybrid thing between Ingress and Pokemon called Pokemon GO. So I'll probably throw a couple of screens up there. I'll just flip that. So essentially what it is, you turn on your phone, you download the app, you install it, and then the servers are busy and the app crashes, and then you have to go about your day. Yeah. So then at lunch, you try again, and then you find that the servers are still crashed, so it doesn't matter. So then you just throw your phone in the trash can because you don't really need it at this point. And then sometimes, but just sometimes, the app will turn on and it'll look a little bit like that. And it's a mock-up of, you know, Google Maps has the layout of like the roads and the grass and stuff like that, and then it's got your little character that you have to make, and then you run around. Yeah. And how it works is you walk around, and there's all these little, you know, leafy things. Yeah. And you walk toward those locations, and then you find the Pokemon, and then you have all these little Pokemons at the bottom that Cameron taught me. You could use your finger and then spin it and spin it and spin it and then flip it, and then it curves up and over, and then you have a higher chance to catch whatever Pokemon. Harder to hit because, like, it arcs. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So when it works, it's a blast. Cameron and I, we just went on a walk for probably 15 minutes.
Probably 15, 20 minutes, yeah.
And we both have Androids.
Yep.
Both have the same app.
Yep.
In the first probably 10 minutes, you were 4 or 5 deep, and I hadn't hit anything. Yep. Nothing popped up on my screen. I saw the little leaves, but I couldn't find anything. I had to completely restart the app. Amazingly enough, it let me back in. Yeah. And then it worked from there. I caught 4 or 5 different Pokemon after that fact. And it was a blast. Like, we even considered walking like another 15 minutes just to kind of keep it going. Because when it works, it's legitimately fun. Like, it's interesting. Like, it's kind of cool. But we're 3 days in.
Something like that. Well,
because the launch internationally, I think, was like 3 or 4 days ago.
I can't remember.
New Zealand and other places had
Australia,
it first.
yeah. And then we got it here, but they were trying to do a region rollout, and then people were going to mirror sites and downloading it before the servers were ready for them. So that's probably part of the problem as well. But, well, you know, when you download something like that and you lose all your personal data from your phone, it's
just personal data.
Yeah, you know.
I get on that.
But anyway, the reason I stopped playing this past little while ago, GPS lost me, crashed the app while I was trying to catch a Clefairy, which is kind of a rare Pokemon.
The rarest of all fairies is the Clefairy. I don't know anything about Pokemon. I think in the first episode I even said I don't like Pokemon at all. This and Pokémon Tournament are the most I've ever spent with anything Pokemon related at all. But like Pokémon Tournament was a blast because you get to beat people up. Who didn't love that? And then this is cool because I like the concept of walking around and trying to find stuff and trying to catch it. And then all the evolutions and the power-ups and the Stardust and like so are candies a part of the Pokemon universe?
No. There was rare candies which leveled your Pokemon up. But I don't know if these candies are something they threw in to probably get you to
do microtransactions and stuff.
Just catch more of the same Pokemon.
Right.
Since they don't have many options, and there's really nothing else to do. There's no battling. There's no trading. There's nothing that makes Pokemon Pokemon.
Huh? Well, they're about so. As of right now, you can pretty much only do 2 or 3 things. You can travel around collecting Pokemon, and then when you level up to at least level 5. You can go to these little gyms all around, your area regionally, whenever it is, and then you can try to take on some of the people that are part of that gym. Okay. And which is great, except how do you want to go about this? Do you want to start about the problems, or do you want to start about like what works? We talked a little.
Let's do what works. Okay. Because the problems are innumerable.
Okay. So I like that they use real locations, like geolocations, Pokemon GO is trying real hard to get us all to go to church. Has anybody else noticed that? I don't know what it is about the Pokemon company that's trying to save all of us. I mean, obviously, if we like Pokemon, we're godless hippies. But yeah, like...
That's Satan.
That Pokemon is a euphemism for Satan?
Yeah, there's a story from a certain Julie over there. She wasn't allowed to have Pokemon cards because they were the devil's cards.
That's actually the second time I've heard that about that in D&D, but that's a different conversation. But ironically, then most of the so it's called a Poke Stop, where you go to this location, kind of like your nodes for Ingress.
Mm-hmm.
You tap on it, and then it kind of brings it up when you're close enough, because you have to be in proximity, because this thing tracks you by your location.
Kinda.
And then it doesn't tell you what to do, because the interfacing for explanation is just garbage in this game.
Yep.
But you tap it, and then you flip it, and then it'll spit out, like, 3 items, 5 items. It depends on where you are, because I've had as much as 5, I think, items drop before. And it's kind of cool because it takes you, so the post office, landmark, churches all over, landmarks. It's a war gear downtown is a landmark.
That's pretty cool.
The statue downtown is a landmark. So that's where you go to get, like, your stuff, your Pokeballs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then they have the gyms. So you go to a gym, you have to pick, once you're level 5, you have to pick your color, red, yellow, blue.
Okay.
What color are you on a team?
I haven't.
Okay. So it's like Team Valor. What are the other 2, Jules? Do you know? Team Valor, Team... Okay, so red, blue, yellow. You pick your team, and then that kind of puts you in, like, whatever bracket. And then your specific color team is what holds down the gym until somebody else, a different color team, can take it over.
Do they defeat you to take it over?
So, well, what you have to do is you have to defeat every person that's kind of on that way up, which is really hard because you can't heal your Pokemon as you fight. So, if your first character that you fight is, like, level 125, the combat points is 125,
okay,
that takes your health all the way down to, like, 50%, say. And then the next person that you fight, they're full health, and now they're, like, combat points 175. You're still fighting 50% health against this creature.
Ew.
So I haven't figured out how to be strong enough to beat any of that stuff, because I don't know how team-based combat works. I don't know how any of that stuff works. There was one place in Tuscarora Park that I went, and I wrecked their whole team. It was awesome, so I took that over. I'm sure it's gone now. But there are 2 places downtown. I can't even scratch the surface on those. I have no idea. So when I can get close enough, when I can click it, I can get items. I can level up. I can evolve my characters. I can power them up using Stardust. All that stuff, when it works, is a blast. It works very well. I call it turbo mode when you drive around trying to use the app, but I don't recommend that just because it's more risk than reward. And the biggest benefit, I think, the potential benefit of this is to get people, like what we did. Normally we come here, we sit, we chill, we eat chips, and then we do our show, and then we leave.
Yeah.
We spent 15, 20 minutes walking around. And then I'm going to see if Jules will throw this on the charger, because when we're done, we might go for another little stroll. But I think that's a really good potential. Mm-hmm. Once it works and interfaces well and all that stuff, I think this will be awesome. But let's talk about what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I'll let you do this because you actually showed me a really good article.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I found this article. It's an opinion-based article from Droid Life. It's entitled "Pokemon Go is a total disaster." I mean,
so do you think that's a stretch, or do you think that's legit?
It's a little hyperbolic, I believe.
I think total disaster is a little exaggerating, because the app can turn on and will turn on. If it was absolutely, it would not download, and it was nothing, like, then I would say, yeah, total disaster.
Drive Club. Drive Club was a disaster when it launched.
I never played Drive Club.
Exactly.
Neither did anybody else, apparently. Okay, go ahead.
And it was last September is when it was officially announced, Pokemon Go. But he goes to say, let me find my paragraph again. More times than not, when attempting to log into the game. Oh, wait, who is this guy? Should probably name his name too.
Always cite your sources.
Too bad I can't find it.
Is that usually it's at the top? The byline is.
Timo Tato on droid-life.com. Droid-life.com.
Oh, do you have a spare Android checker? On the thing over there with the stuff. Next to the snake. Thank you, Julie.
More times than not, when attempting to log into the game to play, it states that the servers are experiencing issues. Okay.
So, pause. That's the chief complaint. Watch Chat Play, at Watch Chat Play on the Twitter feeds. We've been crushing it the last 48 hours. I've had a blast. I've had more fun talking to you people about this stuff than I've even enjoyed playing the game. But the number one complaint and screenshot that I've seen are the servers are currently down.
Yeah.
That's the number one splash screen that people see.
He says he can understand that. But when you do get to log into the game and play, it can sometimes be interrupted by a complete freeze, forcing you to close down the application.
Which I haven't had that, except...
That's what just happened to me.
Okay, so Joel has apparently had that. I have the thing where I was in the world, but my character wasn't interfacing with anything, so it was like part of the game was frozen, but it was still track me walking. Okay, go ahead.
Um, From my experience after attempting to play the past day, the Pokemon Go application is so filled with bugs that I am beginning to think whoever Niantic and Nintendo had beta test this were not doing their jobs.
And we had talked about this a little bit. My theory was the beta testers were all actual coding developers, like the people that were actually on the team, and they had spent so much time already in development that they couldn't look at it from a view of like, what does this game look like if I've never seen it before, because they already had too much application experience with all that stuff. And it was like they forgot to beta test it, like a real beta test.
Yep.
Because you can have an APK code is like kind of the raw form of like an application.
Yep.
So you can make a software application, you can export it through, Ionic or jQuery or whatever coding program that you use, and then you can, export that APK build for your iPhone, for your Android, and then you can go out and take it and test it. It probably won't work, probably won't make phone calls. It probably won't do most of the stuff that you want it to do because it's not ready for that stuff.
Yep.
But it seems like they spent so much time in beta, they didn't actually try a true export and test it. And I have no idea how that's even possible. I played this game, and the thing that I keep on thinking about is Assassin's Creed Unity and how frustrated we were.
Yeah.
But the key difference is this game was free.
Yeah, this is completely free, so...
And how mad can you really be about a free game not working?
I mean, it does suck your battery.
Yeah, but I mean... we got chargers. We got chargers on chargers.
That's true. But he says that it's nowhere near ready, at least on Android.
Yeah.
From what he's heard, it runs well on iOS, much more smoothly, not perfectly well.
But better.
Yeah, but better. Yeah, blah, blah. And what else we got here? Were the field testers not reporting countless bugs that even I found in the first 2 hours of playing? Were they not discussing how the game features absolutely no useful guide on what exactly to do to get started?
Right.
Am I seriously supposed to be plopped into this Poke world and just understand exactly how to use the different items? What about hatching eggs? What the heck is that all about?
Which, we had our first Poke baby. He's cute. Took me 5 kilometers to hatch it. But still, putting the egg into the incubator, one of the more difficult things in the game. And I have no idea why.
I didn't know how to do it at all.
And then I just leveled up to level 6. And one of my perks was an extra incubator to use, but still more of a pain than just playing the game.
He also has problems with... You're telling me that no one brought up to the developers that there is no way to exit the game except from hitting the home button.
Right.
How about whenever I go to change the game settings, they never save once I restart the app? It's like, he's like, come on, I can go all day. It's just a mess.
Well, and that's the thing. So when I was part of a competition that was built on building an application that had to do with safety, so I built an application that, like, if you were sick, if you were having a heart attack, you would hit this crisis button, or you would just say crisis into your phone, and then it would contact you with, like, your next of kin, send some text messages, get you in touch with emergency services. But his whole thing was, the supervisor was, what is your flow? At every screen, can you look at it and know exactly what your buttons do? Mm-hmm. If you do this, okay, then you're at a different screen. So what's the flow of that one? Is there a home button? Do you have to use your buttons at the bottom? So if you have an Android, there's like the back button and all that stuff. We were taught that base level stuff, and our city is not that big.
Yeah.
For Niantic and Pokemon GO, or the Pokemon Company, I don't understand how these little key details were missed. I legitimately don't know how that was even possible.
I don't know if they just didn't finish the game and they just wanted to throw it out there because people wanted it so badly, or what.
But that's the thing. So we were talking about when we were walking. There was no true release date for this. Mm-mm. It was in development since last September. Everybody was really excited about it, and I could have swore that March 2016 was a release date. I thought I read that somewhere, but that might have not even been true. But if your working build isn't up to par, why launch it? Why not wait and fix it?
Unless this is like a covert test on everything.
Which is what I keep on saying and what I've been reading, because I feel like this is more of a beta than the app.
Yeah, just if you're going to do something like that, do an open beta for anyone that wants to play it. Don't just put the game out there and pretend like it's the full game, because this is how you get bad rap. Yeah,
as far as character credibility for the Niantic company, do you think this tarnished their reputation? Or do you think this is normal wear and tear for a mobile application that's built in augmented reality? Because how many games have launched in the past year? Day 1, servers down. Day 2, servers down. Day 3, servers down. This is, as gamers on console, I'm very, very used to this. Like I expected it. I was surprised at the APK build that I may or may not have used. I was surprised that thing even launched and I was able to walk around the city and it like worked.
Yeah.
Legitimately surprised. So then when you actually told me that the actual on Google Play it was finally available, then I fully expected it. And then when I was on Twitter, that was all I saw is just servers down, servers down, servers down.
Yeah.
So I'm used to that. I expect it. I don't like it, but I mean, and this game is free, so I haven't seen the stats. Do you? Can you, Jules, pull up on your phone, go to the Google Play Store, and look at how many people have downloaded it? If that's okay. Don't look at me like I'm crazy, Jules. It's a real question.
But I mean, that's pretty much what he's got. But he's got some really valid points in there. Check out the article. You can throw it in the description.
Yeah, I'll put the description up there. When I read it, because normally you just kind of like to crap on things because you don't like people to be happy.
I crap on things that need crapped on.
And I read it and I was thinking like, oh, this is like another, don't remake Skyrim type article because Cameron just wants to be proven right. And that's not at all what the article was. The article was, and I deal in facts. And he just cited real, measurable, factual things that were wrong with the game, and I'm down with that. That's fine. So as it stands, are you going to keep the app or are you going to delete it?
I'll keep it for now. I mean, there's no reason until it actually starts sucking my battery when I'm not using it. It can sit there.
Okay. What do you think it's going to look like next year? Because like what I have it on my phone, but it's dead right now. What is the app missing that you want to see?
I feel like battling your friends would be really fun.
Yes.
Like just me and you sitting here, we just decided to throw down.
You and I took an entire walk together, and
we didn't even see each other.
Had no idea we were right next to each other, and you were seeing different characters than I was seeing. Until I restarted it, and then we were
kind of
seeing it, but it was kind of at different times and stuff like that. Yeah.
Maybe trading.
Which there's a guy that came into the store today, and that was like his first question. Second question. Do you have Pokemon Go? And then did you figure out how to trade yet? And no, I don't. I know how to assign my character to a gym and have him hold that down.
There is no trading.
But yeah, as of right now, there is no trading.
Which is like a huge staple of Pokemon.
Right, which again, I'm not fluent in that. So you level up your character and then you trade them off for a different character that you need?
No, you level up. You level up a team of 6. You go and battle gyms, then the Elite Four, then the champion, and you're just trying to beat everything. Then you're trying to collect all the Pokemon, level them up, make them stronger, make a new team, battle your friends, collect them all, however you want to play.
There are between 100,000 and 500,000 installs as of me looking at this. So that seems low. I feel like that's not accurate.
That does seem kind of low for as many people, but the vocal minority.
Yeah, true.
And since it is kind of crappy, people are going to
Thank you, Jules.
Share more about the bad stuff than the good stuff.
Well,
there's a lot to
more
share.
fun to rage than to have fun. But I actually have seen a lot of people, the picture that we shared earlier on Watch Chat Play with you giving Weedle the finger, which was hilarious. I laughed so hard. The picture was fantastic. It's easier to crap on something than talk about what's fun, but it's fun. I had a lot of fun with you walking around.
The social aspect, the fact that you get to go out and enjoy yourself, will be really cool. I don't like, if I'm in the process of catching something rare, don't shut me down.
Right.
Like that's a good way for me to not ever play anything again. Well,
because there's got to be a point where like you so like remember old school like sprites, so you would hit a button and then it would do like an action sequence of events.
Yes.
So with this one, you should probably get to a point where like once I see Clefairy, and I touch my Pokeball, it's already locked in. I'm not using any more data or anything like that. Like it's already locked in, and then there's nothing crashes or not crashes. It's right there.
Yep.
But I know that's got. Again, I keep on trying to like give them the grace for the fact that coding is really hard. But at the end of the day, I don't care. That's your job. Your job is to make a really excellent mobile game. You teamed up with one of the bigger companies as far as like trading and social aspects and stuff like that. And they really didn't nail it.
Yeah, there's nothing really social about the game unless you're walking with a friend to do all this. There's nothing in-game that's social besides battling gyms.
Yeah, and I keep on hearing a lot of people who, so I've had more conversations with people in the last probably day or so, and just in my social networks, just that are, going hard over the frustrations or what they enjoy about Pokemon Go. So it's, the social aspect is there, but it's so much less than what it could be if we were able to I've been renaming all of my Pokemon. So all of my characters, like Charmander is now named Balls of Fire, Fireballs. All my birds are all called Captain Flappin or McFlappins. Because I don't care about Pokemon, but if it makes me laugh, then I like it. But like just to be able to fight you and do all this other stuff, and I want to be able to build my own gym. I don't want to have to go to some other gym. Like, why wouldn't I be able to like build my own gym and like hold that down and then have people come to that location that I built and then do your attack there?
I kind of like the gyms being landmarks. I think that's really cool. You have to go to a landmark to battle a gym. And I do like the idea of if you have like a team of friends, go in, take this gym. Like maybe it works like if I take down the first guy, you can come in and take down the second guy.
Maybe that would be
I don't know. Maybe
something to test, yeah.
If I get to level 5, I'll have to try it.
Right.
But it has potential.
Yes.
I was very disappointed with it. I'm still hopelessly optimistic, I guess. But I'll give it a month, and if it's still crap, I think I'll just be done. Yeah,
because legitimately disappointed in the fact that I can't trust that it's going to work. Yep. I had a lunch break. I had 30 full minutes to go and use it and run around and do some stuff, and I couldn't do any of those things because it didn't work. App crashed. Couldn't touch it. Couldn't use it. Couldn't do anything. Sucked. Had to play Clash Royale. And ever since I had Pokemon Go, I've hated Clash Royale because it's not as fun as Pokemon Go. But the game Clash Royale is reliable. The game Pokemon Go is not by any stretch of the imagination. Yep. And I think of the trailer when they were promoting it and doing all like the marketing, where they're in Times Square and there's all these people and they're all fighting that giant Mewtwo and Mewtwo's flying around. And I see the potential for, we're 30 minutes away from like the Football Hall of Fame, huge stadium.
Yeah.
So, obviously pipe dream, but what about next year where they start hosting big events there and, people from all over Northeast Ohio come together.
Take down a legendary.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Godzilla or whatever is in the game. I don't know. Maybe they'll add him for some DLC. I don't know. Whatever. But we are so far away from being able to do any of that stuff from a community level. I can't imagine injecting any money into this whatsoever.
No, I can't.
Would not even consider it because the level cap for money that we saw was
$100.
$100 for 150,000 coins.
14,500, I think is what it was.
So if I give you $100 today, and then the app crashes and I can't touch it, and I'm just all day, you know how furious I would. I would be livid, absolutely livid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't. And you keep on seeing these people that have like crazy high level characters. There's no way people aren't already investing money into it.
Yep.
And I read an article that said that the shares for Pokemon have just spiked.
Oh yeah.
Since the launch of Pokemon Go. So even though Niantic's credibility has kind of been sullied by a poor launch, it's doing great for Pokemon. Pokemon's doing fantastic right now.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So I don't know. So. I'm not ready to give up money yet. I think there's going to be a lot of potential for the future for, us being able to fight our Pokemon right here on the table and then have, Jules. I don't know how it works in Pokemon. Like, if she was a support character, like, could she heal me to help me kill you? Or
it's just one-on-one.
One-on-one, that's it?
You can do team battles of maybe, but I don't think you can do more than 2 players.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about the potential for it. I've had way more fun talking to all the people on Twitter about like the hashtag Pokemon Go feed is amazing. Because for the most part, everybody, short of one girl who was like she was a douchebag, and girls can be douchebags. She was just a douchebag about some stuff that she said, but everybody else was really cool. Everybody else was really fantastic. So the community for Pokemon, fantastic. So far, fantastic.
Bunch of mega nerds.
Bunch of mega nerds just tearing it up. And I keep on hearing a lot of people who say like, if only I was like 15 or 16 right now and didn't have a job or responsibilities, Pokemon Go would be my life. Which is true. I mean, it's hard to not want to go out and do that. Last night I was sitting on my couch. Danny had gone to bed, and I was really struggling with the idea of like, dude, just go for a walk. Let's just go explore. Let's just see what we can find. And then I'm like, how many cops are arresting kids all over the country going like, what are you doing? It's past curfew. I put the Weedle. I got to get the Weedle though. It's like, well, Weedle, he's got a gun. Get him. So I don't know. So we'll see. It'll be an interesting next probably month of updates and revisions and tweaks and.
It either take off more or fade away.
Yeah, like anything. Cool. All right, so you have this new game thing that you wanted to do.
I have an idea to close everything out, get the community involved. That's you guys.
That's you.
So in the comments, what we're gonna do, we're gonna play this game.
This is a drinking game.
It's called SUPERFIGHT. No. We're gonna pick. We're each gonna get a white card, which a white card is a type of character, and then it's gonna get 2 of these black cards, which it could be a bonus or a flaw. and we're going to take turns submitting our case on who would win in a fight.
Oh, cool. Do you want to go first?
I mean, we're both going to have to just flip it. So what I got is I got a Centaur who is armed with a phaser, but is also out of mana.
Okay. So I have a monk that has a half HP and is the supreme.
Is the supreme? I don't get that one.
Well, he's the supreme.
So he's just the supreme.
He's the supreme. So half HP is full HP.
No.
Okay, go.
Okay, so my Centaur who has a phaser and out of mana. I guess the out of mana really doesn't matter because the phaser doesn't use mana.
Correct. That was actually the first thing I thought of when he pulled that card.
So that's kind of useless.
Mm-hmm.
My Centaur is a part human, part horse with a phaser gun, so I feel like he could set it to stun and take your monk down pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. Which I would give you, except let's just throw the half HP away because that doesn't even matter. I just got
How do you get to throw this away?
I just got 4 little things. The monk is the supreme, and even if he's at half HP of supreme HP, that's more than whatever dumb HP your stupid Centaur has with a little pistol, little squirt gun.
See, your monk is melee, well the phaser is ranged.
Why do you think that my monk would even bother with melee? He's the supreme. We're talking mind bullets. We're talking the power to move you. We're talking everything that the song Wonder Boy was about wrapped up in this little bad boy.
But monks take vows of silence.
Yeah, they don't need to talk to whoop a half man, half horse.
He's a half man, half horse, so he'll just kick you if you get close enough and then just phase the crap out of you.
But as the supreme, the meditation is so strong that Applejack over there can do whatever he wants to. And the monk will just mentally compress it into a basketball and then just throw it away like, yesterday's garbage. NBD, son. I mean, it's no big deal. I'll break it down for you.
All right.
And he's a monk, so not only is he the supreme, but a monk can probably tame any creature this side of the hemisphere.
But you're forgetting about the half HP part.
Okay, so say he's a half HP, so he's, he's not 100%, but that doesn't mean that he can't just lull the Centaur into a beautiful rest and then rip out his horse hearts and then just eat it for more supremeness.
I mean, it's possible, but you keep forgetting about the phaser.
Or does the supreme mean he's covered in
pizza,
like sour cream, like Taco Bell? Yeah.
I don't know what the supreme is. It's probably some reference we don't get.
Or does it mean at half horsepower? Which means your Centaur is half man, half horse. My monk is also at half horsepower, but he's also the supreme. So
he's half horse with sour cream.
With sour cream and just wrecking shot. That's a terrible sandwich. I'd send that one back to the kitchen. So I think I won.
I think it's up to those guys.
So we'll let you pick. So do you think my monk with extreme horsepower that's covered
half HP, so he's half health,
and covered in sour cream would be,
or my Centaur who has a phaser, which you can set it to stun or kill, but he's out of mana. Which
means he doesn't even have magic. Which means he's just a guy standing next to a horse being all weird
with a phaser. So, well, that's up to you guys.
So, I guess you get to pick. Let us know in the comment section who you think won. So, a couple things that I want to know on top of this really key detrimental. This is fun. I like this. Okay. I want to do more of these. These are cool. Have you downloaded Pokemon GO? Has Pokemon GO worked? And what do you like about it and what do you don't like about it? Specifically, it sucks. Doesn't tell me anything.
Nope.
What do you like that works? What do you not like that doesn't work? And then what would you like to see them add, in the future? So,
yes.
I mean, because obviously Niantic has a lot of free time on their hands. They're not trying to douse all of the fires in their servers. But yeah, I think it would be cool to kind of see like what your experiences are because the social aspect of this is fantastic.
You betcha.
So you betcha. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. And I don't know. I've seen some people that have been sharing some footage of doing this, but I don't know if we'll be able to do that. So whatever.
Yeah, we don't have the tech to do that kind of stuff.
Fine. It doesn't matter.
And it won't work anyway. So.
All right. So if you like the video, like it, subscribe, share it, talk about it, rock about it. We'll be tweeting it out at the hashtag Pokemon Go. See if we can let the people know how much I cared for him because I had a great experience talking with him. And like us on Facebook.
Yeah.
At Watch Chat Play.
That's us.
At Litherus.
That's me.
At Designated Devon.
Debbie Dad.
My PSN ID is DVD_X0X, which apparently means deadbeat dad, but we all know that I'm not. So
he's a deadbeat dad and does a 0.
I do 0. I do 0 work, and that's what women are for. That's why people get married. Weird.
All right, we're calling it.
All right, cool. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Later, guys.